Make America healthy again. Finally, they're turning the ship around. MAHA, new initiatives, new health incentives, getting rid of the toxic dyes and certain additives in the food supply, getting rid of fluoride in the public water supply in certain states. We're seeing a lot of changes, and I think that that's fantastic. Some people have lost that optimism about the world and the government, and is it really working on making America healthy again? RFK Jr., I got to say, I'm a huge fan. I think he's doing a great job. Is there room for improvement? There's always room for improvement. But what I'm seeing right now is pretty cool. And I'm definitely optimistic towards the future of the American food supply and what people are putting in their bodies, what's in the water supply, and what's available for people like you, like me, and like others that watch Leak Project as far as supplementation. So look who it is. Bob Gilpatrick, the man, the myth, the legend, boomerboost.com. So I've been taking these products now with Boomer Boost for over 3 years. The Gladiator Barley and the Boomer Boost is a daily regimen for me. I just started taking the magnesium and zinc and the lignans. This stuff is awesome.
Awesome, man. I'm glad you're feeling it.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about, feeling it.
Hell yeah. So what's going on, Bob? Talk to us about these latest updates because you are in the know.
Yeah, so so people know, you can subscribe to a newsletter that comes out almost every day from HHS, and they give you updates on what they're doing. And this past week, there were some major announcements where RFK came out and talked about how they're going to work with the medical societies and associations to add more content into the nutritional curriculum that the medical doctors get and how they get trained. And right now they get about 19 hours of training over the course of their years. And most medical doctors in a survey will say that they don't really know how to advise their patients about nutrition. And so they leave that to somebody else. And it's unfortunate. The system really does not work all that well, even for things that they know about. And for example, I know somebody who had a kidney stone, and they were told very clearly, you have to capture that kidney stone with this screen as it comes out, because we're going to analyze it for you for its chemical composition, and that way we can make diet recommendations for you so that you can make a good chance that you won't get any more kidney stones. Well, that's all well and good, but this person captured the kidney stone and called to the urologist, who said they wanted to analyze it right away within 48 hours. And they were told, the person was told, well, we can't do that until you go see your primary care physician. So called the primary care physician, and they said, yep, that's great. First appointment is September 17th. So the person explained it to him. Oh, sorry, there isn't really anything we can do for you. Come on the 17th. And so essentially a very critical aspect of this person's care, the system itself would not even allow for the analysis to be done in a timely manner in order to help a person in a very critical part of their life. And this is a nutrition issue, right? And so even if they have great education, RFK has to fix the rest of that system. And this is all controlled by insurance companies and the number of patients that doctors can see and can't see. And there's no accommodation for what really constitutes good medicine. And so people have to realize what exactly is being changed by Health and Human Services, but also to stand guard and know that even if they do change certain things, there's going to be other obstacles as well that you'll have to find ways around as we go forward. But what's really big is that there's going to be more mandated education, not only for physicians, but eventually in all schools, elementary schools, K through 12. And on Wednesday, the state of Texas implemented the plans that were developed by HHS. The state of Texas said, we're not waiting for a nationwide thing. We're going to do it in Texas right now. And so they passed a law, and I'll tell you some of the things that were in it. Is they passed a law that said that they call the food transparency for consumers, and they're going to mandate nutrition education starting this week across K through 12 schools, higher education, and the healthcare workforce. So they didn't say what the healthcare workforce means, in this particular article, but that's really big. So we're talking about from kindergarten all the way to medical doctors. The state of Texas is now mandating nutrition education. And in addition, in grades K through 12, they're mandating daily physical activity for the children in school. So this is really big. They also passed another bill that prohibits the school lunches from containing certain additives that the research has shown is harmful to people. And right away, that's going to be put into place, not waiting for any federal issue. Also, they passed a law, it's Bill 379, that says for the nutrition assistance program, they call SNAP, some people call it food stamps, the people in Texas will no longer be able to purchase candy and sweetened drinks. Now, we don't know what sweetened drinks exactly means. Certainly, it means straight out soda pop, but it could mean other things as well. Even popular drinks, sports drinks that have been sweetened could also be included. We don't know yet. But these are really big moves on the part of the state of Texas. And they're going to become the poster child and the beta test, so to speak, for the rest of the country. The other thing that's happening is that in the bill that passed, they called the Big Beautiful Bill, there was $50 billion earmarked for support for rural hospitals. And this is really big. A lot of people have to travel a really long way to get to a hospital, and it's even emergency rooms. And so this bill is to make sure that the rural hospitals that are there or are trying to open actually have enough support to be there. And the state of Texas has announced that they are starting to draw down their share of the money. They have 160 counties that are deemed to be rural, and they're going to be bolstering the hospitals all across the state of Texas, which could be very, very helpful and life-saving in some circumstances for the people of Texas. And of course,
50 billion?
50 billion. Yeah.
With a B.
Yeah, with a B.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. 50 billion. So it's a serious endeavor. The president and the Senate and the Congress were serious about it. They passed this knowing that it was a critical element of making America healthy again. Some people think, well, hospitals aren't that critical in making people healthy. What about good diet and exercise and nutrition and prevention? That's all true. But human bodies are very frail. They get very toxic. They get injured easily. They get infected with pathogens easily. And hospitals still serve a critical role in helping people. People need surgeries for all kinds of different things that spontaneously happen to human beings. And the hospitals are where they have the specialized equipment, the x-ray machines, the MRIs, et cetera, et cetera. And utilized properly, they're very vital and important. And so this is what's happening in the world of HHS today. If you just do a search online for HHS newsletter and subscribe to it, you can get these updates as well. And it's very heartening because most of the time it's very positive news, not always. The majority of the time it's positive and uplifting updates from HHS on what they're doing. This is why RFK Jr. was brought on board for the Make America Healthy Again initiative, and he's a real doer. He gets things done, and for the most part, they get things done right. Now, Rex, I wanted to talk about this too. There's some very famous health and wellness advisors that have hundreds of millions of people have watched their videos, and their PhDs, MDs that are the ones that are at the front line, cutting edge of what's happening. And just the other day, one of them was interviewing a doctor who was I believe, a neurosurgeon, and he asked him about the state of medical education in the United States. And he said, you have to start first with knowing that about half of all the information in the medical textbooks that are used in medical school are out of date. And as a result, half the information that doctors are learning is actually wrong. And they asked him, well, what's that mean to the American public? What does it mean in regard to, what's happened to people because of that? He said it's completely uncalculable, the damage that has been done because of that. And also, you have so many bad side effects. People who are watching and paying attention to the LEAK project, there is, the need for understanding all of these things that are happening, the limitations, the good changes that are coming, and learn how to interface with your advisors for your health and wellness, and how to stand guard at the doorway of your health, and stand guard at the doorway of your mind, so that you and your family can thrive. And one of the big things is like this, Rex. So the medical education system for the doctors, it's pretty good. I've read the textbooks that are used, in the medical education for nutrition for the doctors. They get basically the equivalent of a master's degree, and that some of the textbooks you see on the back behind me are those textbooks, and they're a decent basic introduction to the field. And then there are some specialties that doctors can also continue on and study more of. But more accurately and more helpful is an initiative by the Life Extension Foundation that's called the Supplement Pyramid. And using, to the best of their knowledge at that time, they wrote a book called The Supplement Pyramid and advised people about, from all of their experience of 35 years with some of the most famous nutrition scientists in the world on their board of directors, this was what they were advising people. And it's pretty good. But they unfortunately left off some really crucial things that I think they just didn't want to write a book that was too long. So they put out kind of an abbreviated version, and unfortunately they left off some really crucial things. And in addition, couldn't really advise people what to do with their advice, okay? Because if you were to try to read this book and then piece together a nutrition regime for yourself, boy, good luck with that. You'd never be able to do it. First off, not all the information is in there. Secondly, you'd have to buy 50 bottles of vitamin pills to try to take advantage of their advice. And so what I wanted to do, Rex, was talk about the supplement pyramid, and what's good about it, and what it actually is, what are the 3 levels of it, and what it was that they missed, and how to know about the issues that were missed. And then what can you do quickly and easily in order to take advantage of the knowledge that is in the supplement pyramid book, augmented by what we'll also talk about today.
That sounds great. Yeah.
So there are 3 stages of the supplement pyramid. The first one is the fundamentals. The second one is customization, and the last is maximization. So what does that mean? The fundamentals are the things that everybody should pay attention to and do. If you want to also customize things for yourself, there's information available for that. So for example, in the fundamentals, there's nothing that's there to help you with sleep, which is a crucial aspect of your health. But in the customization part, there is information about that and solid information about what you can do to address it. The other thing is, some people might do all the fundamentals and still have issues with their memory or their focus or concentration. And so for them, you can customize by utilizing specific additional things that can help with that type of a problem. Also, if you're super toxic, or you have a big problem with circulation, there are additional things that can be done. And then in the maximization side, this is where, if you have people that want to really, really thrive, the biohackers, they really want to live this maximized state of health and wellness, there's another set of guidelines for that as well. Now, these all kind of crisscross over also, Rex, depending on the individual. For an individual that might have a specific need for better circulation, for them, it's fundamental to use the maximization technologies that are in that category. And so you see, it's not exactly cut and dry, and you have to use it as a set of guidelines, just because it helps people to understand a little bit better when you kind of piece it out, right? So with the fundamentals, people can start with macro and micronutrients. So the macronutrients are your carbohydrates, your protein, and fats. And those are the chemical configurations that foods come in. And it's all made of the same thing: carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen. They're just configured in different ways with different types of bonds, which then gave rise to the need for these categories. And they're in different amounts in different foods. And so it's good to understand that. And it's good to understand also that there are micronutrients, many, many, many different micronutrients, by the thousands actually. And there are certain essential ones, as you might guess: vitamin C and vitamin D and B vitamins. And it's very well known that if you have a severe lack of vitamin C, you're going to have scurvy. If you have a severe lack of vitamin D, you're going to have rickets. And these were the types of conditions back in the day that were identified that were micronutrient deficiencies. So you have a list of vitamins, you have a list of minerals that you absolutely need. And then there are certain crucial specialty nutrients as well. And some of those that are nutrients that should be in the supplement pyramid that are not in that book yet. I'm sure they're going to be revising it when they get around to it. But some of those things are, for example, probiotics. Right? So you can have a supplement pyramid with nutrients, but the fact is, most people can't get the right types of good bacteria or the amount that they need or the fiber that they need in order to build the metabolites that their body needs to function properly. Very, very difficult to do naturally, if not impossible. And so people can take probiotics, which are pills usually or liquid, that contain different types of bacteria, which are considered to be good bacteria. And the fact of the matter is, Rex, by cell count, our body is 1/10 human and 90% other than human, meaning bacteria, viruses, funguses, parasites. You have 10 times as many of those as you do human cells. And so, to a large extent, we are a symbiotic relationship between human cells and other than human cells that work together in an elaborate way to give rise to a physical human body that can move around and gives rise to the availability of consciousness, where in the third dimension we can have consciousness of our existence and we can think and feel. And without those bacteria, you would not have that. You need to build neurotransmitters that are capable of helping give rise to consciousness, and it's highly dependent on the bacteria that you have. And humans are born into a bacterial colony. So in the womb, we're relatively free of pathogens. We have some that are passed, through the umbilical cord, but for the most part, we're pretty free. We're mostly human. But as soon as you're born and you come out through the birth canal, you are inoculated by bacteria. So you're passing through the birth canal, and all the bacteria there is coating your body on the way out, and it's getting into your mouth and your nose and your eyes. And those bacteria act as the enzymes that help you to digest your first meal. So as you are drinking mother's milk, the enzymes in your mouth that came upon you through the birth canal are digesting that meal and beginning to create the symbiotic relationship of your body. And then in mother's milk has a lot of good bacteria as well. And of course, there's bacteria in the air. And as soon as you're born, the bacteria in the air just gloms onto the little child's skin. And very soon after you're born, your body has transformed from mostly human cells into mostly other than human cells. And it gives rise to the capability of a being that we call human, but in reality, it's a combination of many different life forms. And so in a supplement pyramid, you absolutely want to pay attention to your microbiome, or you're missing 90% of you. And another issue related to this, Rex, is the extreme difficulty in maximizing the efficacy and the veracity of your microbiome. And so what we've done for people is we've created a special product where we mimic the activity that's happening in your large intestine, where bacteria is fermenting fiber and creating metabolites. And we did that in a certified facility that is a very clean and pure facility and FDA approved. And we make a special, what we call a probiotic, but it's actually metabolites. And so we put good bacteria along with fiber from our sprouted barley seeds and a special mineral water into a vat. We ferment it for 90 days, and that action of creation of metabolites occurs in this vat. And then we dry that sludge out and powderize it into a powder that goes into a jar with a scoop. And you now have done for you metabolites, which circumvents the problem of modern life of having a hard time maintaining an optimal microbiome that makes metabolites. We now, for the first time ever, have done for you metabolites. So this is an example of where there isn't going to be anything about this in the medical textbooks. There's nothing about this in the supplement pyramid. The people at Life Extension, who are geniuses and the major pioneers in the world of health and nutrition, are not, don't yet know that this exists. Okay, and so this is an example of wanting to pay attention to a show here, the Leak Project, where you, as a person and for your friends and family, can actually have the up-to-date information about what is actually available, what people are actually using that's working. Some of the products that Rex is using fall into this same type of category. And I'll give you another example. Rex, it comes straight out of this supplement pyramid issue, is like this. There's nothing in a supplement pyramid about antioxidants, right? Human beings are aerobic life, and we are burning ourselves up over time. So we're just like a log in a fire. You put a log on the fire, and you watch it for a couple hours, it becomes smoke and ash. Human beings are the same way. We are aerobic life, and we're utilizing oxygen for our life, and it produces toxic byproducts that literally burn us up as we go. And after about 100 years, our body is burned out and we can no longer live, right? But we also know that the human body makes antioxidants, which are compounds that keep that rate of burn to a minimum so we can live for 100 years. Without those antioxidants that are coded for in our genome, we would only be able to live for a very short time. And so if you want to enhance your ability to live longer from an oxidative standpoint, you can consume by mouth, and you can get IVs, and now even sprays that go through your skin that are filled with antioxidants, so you're not burning yourself up that fast. And you can actually get a blood test that shows you how fast you're burning yourself. And life insurance companies use that blood test along with other tests to determine how long you're going to live. And life insurance companies can tell how long you're going to live from these tests, and they can gauge it to within about 3 months. They know what month you're going to die within about 3 months. And doesn't, from the time you're 25 or 30 on, they know the answer to this. And they know that as you age, that you're going to age faster as you get older. So how fast you age from 50 to 60 is one thing, but from 60 to 70, you've aged much faster during that time. And the reason is your body stops making these antioxidants that slow your rate of burn. Right? And so if you get a test, your C-reactive protein test, which you can do, by the way, through the Life Extension Foundation, and they'll facilitate that for you, you can tell how fast your body's burning itself up. The average person, their score is about a 3, right? You really want to try to get your rate down to 0.5 or below. So you want to get it down by about 10 times. And if you do that, you will have slowed your rate of oxidative aging dramatically. It will help prevent diseases, because most all diseases are ultimately caused by this inflammation. Heart disease, strokes, cancer, Alzheimer's disease, even diabetes are related to inflammation. And other things you've heard about, concussion disease, the chronic traumatic encephalopathy is also associated with inflammation. And so in order to get it down, you need to know which compounds you have to ingest which are the chemical compounds that act as these antioxidants. And you want that to be part of your foundational nutrition in the supplement pyramid. And so those compounds are compounds like glutathione, trimethylglycine, superoxide dismutase, certain vitamins A, C, and E, minerals like selenium and zinc, all act as antioxidants. Some of these you make from your genetic code, but as you age, you make less and less of them. The main one being superoxide dismutase, or SOD. You make a lot when you're young, and as you age, you make less and less, and that's why you age faster as you get older. But now you can actually take that by mouth, and it's in the sprouted barley seeds, which Rex had showed you. He had a picture of earlier on, is loaded with superoxide dismutase to the point where it's so much that you have to take it in very small amounts when you first start. You don't want to overload your body with SOD. SOD is very, very powerful antioxidant and will help detox your body. And you don't want to detox too fast, because if you do, it's going to attack your kidneys and your liver and your lymph system, and it won't be good. So when you receive your sprouted barley seeds, either gladiator barley or heirloom barley, you want to follow the instructions that come with it and use the little scoop that comes with it and ease into it like a responsible consumer of great health products. In some cases, these products are so strong that you have to ease into them. Okay? And so this is another example of the supplement pyramid needing to have things added in, antioxidants, probiotics with metabolites that accompany all of the other building blocks of fundamental nutrition.
That's what I'm talking about. You know your stuff. That's really cool. You've been doing this for a few years, though. Folks, Bob is literally a hero at heart. Back during 9/11, yeah, most of us remember that day, Bob was helping save people from the devastation of the buildings that were crashing and all the crap that went on there. So, and then, I talked to Bob off air, and he's telling me about how he's helping somebody or doing something, helping somebody in a different state or a different location. So I think that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty dang cool.
Well, thank you, Rex. People can call us on our 800 number, and Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 Eastern time, we pick up the phone. This is where you can actually speak to somebody who's right here in the United States. Stephanie and Lucy are the main people that answer the phone, and myself and Raleigh and Matt, we back them up, as does Jim. So Jim works for us as well. He lives right here in St. Pete, as does Stephanie. Lucy used to. She just moved to Green Bay, Wisconsin, and so she answers the phone up in her house in Green Bay. And so, they stand ready to help people with any kind of questions that they might have. And we're as well known for our customer service as we are for the quality of our products. And so you never have to worry about calling up and never think you're bothering us. You might not get the call picked up right away. A lot of people call every day, but if you leave a message, it shows right up on their computer screens, and the next thing they do when they hang up on a call is dial you back. So it's usually right away that you get called back from one of the people answering. And Jim, Rex, so you know this, Jim, who works with us also, is also an author. He wrote a cookbook, and he also wrote a really great book called Palmetto Sunrise, which is a story about growing up in old Florida with his grandfather and father. And on his next birthday, Jim is going to be 90 years old. And right now he started a new book, which he's writing about nutrition from his experience the last 8 years working with us at Boomers Forever Young, all the things he's learned about nutrition, he's now writing a book about it.
Man,
So
that's so cool. You know who we need to get on the Boomer Boost and Gladiator Barley? I just thought about this. My friend Dr. Richard Allen Miller. He was actually one of the original people that helped facilitate the original team of Navy SEALs. So we go way back. Like he used to hang out with Nixon. He has a very interesting life. He's literally like a modern sorcerer. He's written a bunch of books on hermetics and magic and done work for a multitude of universities. He's super brilliant, and he's so smart that you actually have to he'll play around with you and you don't even realize it. He'll say stuff that'll kind of. But anyway, he's 82, I think, or 81 or 82, still rocking and rolling.
What's his name?
And his name is Dr. Richard Allen Miller is his name. And he's written hundreds of books, super nice guy. He's a regular on Leak Project. And when he comes on the show, he's got as much energy as me, man. I mean, he's bouncing off the walls. But I would love to see him on some Boomer Boost and Gladiator Barley. I'll bet you that would just take him to the next level. I would love to see that. I'm gonna have to reach out to him and send him. I'll be happy to purchase some products and send it to him, see how he likes it. So, folks, that's what I do. Yeah. Oh, sorry to interrupt, Bob. I was going to say, that's what I do for my friends and my family. If I've got a friend or a family member that either has some health opportunities or doesn't, but like some people I know that have had health opportunities, I'm like, look, let me send you the Boomer Boost. Let me send you the Gladiator Barley. I remember telling you the testimony about my neighbor, I've moved a few times the past 5 years for various reasons. I'm still here in Pagosa Springs, but one of the first houses we moved to in Pagosa Springs, our next door neighbor, I gave the gal some Gladiator Barley. I didn't even have any Boomer Boost. And the next week, I'm taking out the garbage, and she sees me and she starts catching up to me, and she just says, I don't know what's in that stuff, but that stuff's amazing. And she was diagnosed with MS previous to that, and the doctor said she was going to have to be on a cane and have a cane because she loves to walk and hike with her husband Jay, real nice guy. And so anyway, make a long story short, she wasn't walking up to me with the cane; she was jogging up to me practically. And I think she's still on the regimen,
cool.
So still hiking and having a great time with her husband. So yeah, I need to see how they're doing. Really nice people. But anyway, yeah. So folks, you should definitely take the 30-day challenge. There's some awesome specials right now at the website. I did want to show off the website real quick, so maybe you could tell us about some of the promotions you're offering real quick.
Yeah, so if you go to our website and you click on products, you'll see products on sale at the bottom. If you click that, first thing you're going to notice is the probiotics, and underneath that, the lignans, which Rex is using, are both buy one, get one free.
Ooh, nice.
And so I can tell you this, those probiotics that you're looking at, that's a one-off, meaning there's only one place in the world they're made, and there's only one place in the world you can buy them, which is right here. Right? And unbelievable for people that have had damage to their intestines, have had their colon operated on, removed, they're sick. This is the real deal that you want. And the other thing, the lignans is other companies make lignans. These lignans are made from flax seeds. And so there's a wax on the outside of flax seeds that contains these chemical compounds that are highly beneficial for the human body. There's 27 different known lignans. And so they tumble these seeds in a mechanical tumbler, and it knocks the wax off, and they collect it and grind it up and stabilize all the nutrients. And then they put it in these jars and send it to us. And it helps people with issues with their prostate, helps women with all types of hormonal issues, including all the stages of menopause. It helps with breast cancer. It helps prevent breast cancer, helps with depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder. It boosts your immune system. And the reason it can do all these different things is there are 27 different lignans in this product. It's really, really valuable and really potent. And those are both buy one and get one free. And then if you scroll down a little more, Rex, there's a story about our heirloom barley. And that heirloom barley right there is on sale for half price. Okay. But in addition, there's a trial size of that, which for new customers is actually a full month supply. And you won't see that on here, Rex, but I'll just tell you, if people want the trial size, they can get it for $20. And that's a full month of product, right? And again, this is a one-off product. This product's only made in one place in the world. Okay? And if you use the code REX20 when you find that product, if you want me to show you how to find it, Rex, if you go back to individual products there and you select that trial size of the heirloom barley, the small one, and you click through, there's a spot to put in that code. So you add it to the cart and go to checkout, and there's a place to put that into the code. And so you put in REX20 and you can get it. Your cart is actually right there. Yep. And so that's going to convert that. Now you have other stuff in the cart, I think, but that'll convert that to $20 when you cash out at the end, right? And so that's a really good way to get started with that heirloom barley. And for people that have already been taking advantage of it, if you want to get the larger size, which you'll need for the second month, it's half price right now. And then, Rex, if you go back, there's 2 different combo packs that are really cool in the on sale part. And one of them is a combo pack for helping build your nails and your hair and your joints and your skin. And we have hundreds upon hundreds of testimonials about that collagen peptide product, of how people have improved their hair and their nails and the like. The reason it's combined with the heirloom barley and the vitamin C is collagen comes in peptides, which are building blocks of protein, and they have to be glued together. The peptides have to be glued together according to the genetic code to make collagen. And the metabolic enzymes that accomplish that are in the heirloom barley. And the vitamin C is also a catalyst, a cofactor that helps with the building of collagen. And this is the best way by far anywhere in the world to build your collagen for those purposes. Huh? The other combo pack is one for building your immune system. So those 2 products, the lignans and probiotics, both those are awesome for your immune system. And you can get the vitamin C that goes with it. And you can get that, for $99. And you'll be able to have something for boosting your immune system as the fall and the winter months are coming along. And these will be here. Some of these sales will be on for just a few more days. Some maybe a little longer. But anybody that's watching now and wants to take advantage of this, don't hesitate. Usually when a new month comes around, somewhere around the 3rd or 4th, we replace the sales with other things. Okay? And there's many other combos that you can take advantage of. And if you are interested in getting this foundational nutrition that we've been talking about, if you, Rex, go back to the products and click on combo packs, or let's see what it says. Go back up for a second. Go to health systems. Yeah, right there. So a health system will give you all of that foundational nutrition that we talked about. And if you get the one that is called the Starter Total Health System, the second one over, okay, that's going to give you your Boomer Boost and barley and vitamin D and your omega-3s. And if you want the probiotics, you can get the one that's called Starter Health System with probiotics. And this makes it really easy for you to practice this foundational nutrition we were referring to, because 3 of them are in powder form. The probiotics has over 500 different metabolites in that powder. The Boomer Boost is a custom designed drink that has 66 different foundational nutrients in it, including antioxidants. The barley has over 4,000 different ingredients, and you mix these together in a glass of water, put it in that blender bottle, and then you're going to need your vitamin D and some extra omega-3s. And here's why, Rex. Some people are out in the sun a lot and they don't need extra vitamin D, and you don't want to overdose on it. Some people are never in the sun and they need 2 of those pills every day. Some people need 1 pill and some sun. And so it's in a separate bottle for that reason. You don't want people taking the same amount of vitamin D. And the omega-3s make the powders taste bad. So we put them separate. And the ideal thing to do, those omega-3s, is to take 2 or 3 of them. And there's a special compound in there called DHA. It's a special type of acid that makes up part of the membrane of your eye cells, your cones and rods in your eyes. And so it helps you be able to see colors better. But more importantly, that DHA, when you are in the sun or even just light from different lights in your house, when that light hits your eyes, the photons of light hit that DHA in the cones and rods, and the DHA converts it into an electron. And that is one of the main ways you power your brain, is an electron transport chain that happens utilizing DHA. And it's in those omega-3 fish oil capsules. And they know what level of in your blood of omega-3 you want to have in order to maximize that electrical output. And we know it's between 2 and 3 of those pills, depending on your size, how big you are, right? So very, very important aspect of holistic nutrition is DHA for that reason, and many, many others. Really good for your heart as well. And so that kit, it only takes you 2 minutes in the morning to do it, right? And here's what I do, Rex. I have these little Tupperwares, and I make up 2 weeks ahead of time. And I put the 3 powders into those Tupperwares, little ones like this with a lid. I put them aside, and then I have those little cases that you can put pills in Monday through Sunday. I have 2 of them. I put the pills in there. So in the morning, I have a blender bottle. I take a Tupperware, dump it in, add the water and shake it up, and I take a couple sips of it, and I wash down those pills. And then I just bring that with me, and I'll drink it in the car on the way to work, drink it at my desk, whatever. It is the easiest thing, and you're literally getting over 4,000 bioactive compounds to fuel your day and to create a physical body and a mental capacity and affect in order to really thrive in your life. And we've made it as simple as possible for people. There is no other place, in the world where you can get such a total health system that's as comprehensive as this, as scientifically researched as this, and some of the concepts we spoke about earlier with enzymes and probiotics and antioxidants are all in there. So that's the foundation, Rex. If people want to customize things, if you're having trouble sleeping, for example, there's no sleep aid in this kit, right? Because some people don't need it. But we have a really awesome sleep aids called Goodnight Formula that you can get, very inexpensive, and as best as we can tell, it is the best one in the world. And there's a long story about how we developed it that we won't go into today. But also, Rex, there's other technologies where, as people age, one of the biggest issues that you have is you're losing muscle. And essentially, people are aging at the rate of their burn that we talked about earlier and the rate that they're losing muscle. And as you get older, your body loses a lot of muscle and your bones become a lot weaker. And eventually you lose enough muscle, you're going to die. And also a lot of people die from muscle wasting that are going through medical treatments. If you have cancer, you're going through chemo. When people die that are going through chemo, 60% of the time it's because they died from muscle wasting, right? But now You can take our Gladiator barley and another brand new product, which we'll talk about now, called Myotrol, and you will actually be able to gain weight, gain muscle weight while you're going through chemo. And we've seen it time after time after time. And also people that are just getting old and frail, 85, 90 years old, that are not paying attention to their muscle weight are going to eventually die as their muscles just kind of burn out. And Myotrol is a brand new invention. It was invented in California by Eric Kurtz. It's the first of its kind epigenetic reprogrammer. And epigenetic reprogramming is being investigated by the top scientific labs all around the world. And the very first one that came out commercially available is called Myotrol. And the reason it's called epigenetic reprogrammer is what it's doing is it is taking your epigenetic capacity back to a much earlier day. And our genes just sit there as a blueprint, and they're waiting to be copied so that you can make proteins, etc. And it's wrapped in a protein sheath. And in order for the gene to be expressed, something has to ping that sheath and split it open so your RNA can make a copy of it. And then that's how you make proteins. And as you age, that protein sheath becomes very tight and it's resistant to being unwrapped. And so your ability to make muscle diminishes because you have to have genetic expression in order to build muscle. Myotrol is a product that was invented by Eric Kurtz specifically to stimulate with more power that protein sheet so it will splay open again as if you were a 20-year-old. And lo and behold, you can build muscle as if you were 20 years old when you take this product. And at the same time, he wanted to stimulate energy production because people have less energy as they get older. And there's a separate set of genes for energy production. So he has a different compound in the pill that stimulates that, and a third one that stimulates the production of a brain chemical called brain-derived nootropic factor, BDNF. And it's your molecule of many things, but motivation is one of them. So if you're sitting on the couch going, man, I really should get up and go for a walk, but you're not moving, your BDNF is pretty low, right? So when you take Myotrol, your BDNF rises, and right away you feel like doing things. You're like, exercise? Okay, let's move. Let's go do it, right? And you end up liking it. You end up enjoying exercise because things have been balanced, your genetic expression, your BDNF, and now you're like you're a young child again and you feel like running. Little children leave the house, first thing they do is run around, right? Yay, school's out, let's run, right? Well, adults can feel that way too, right? But you need to take your Myotrol and your Gladiator barley and your Boomer Boost, and when you do, boom, when I leave my condo, Rex, my car is parked 100 yards away, the first thing I feel like doing is running to my car. And this is because I've suppressed the need to run in place on the elevator and run down the hallway to the elevator. I feel like that too. When I get outside, it's like, all right, now I can run to my car, right? And you can feel that way. And I remember when I was a kid, we're going out, let's run around, throw the football, grab the basketball, we're going to have a game, and run for hours, right? Well, now with new technology, older humans can feel like that also. It's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
That's some of the optimization, Rex. Also, if people have trouble with digestion, you can get digestive enzymes, which is a optimization thing. You can get products that help improve your stem cell capacity, other products that improve your mental capacity, things for improving your circulation. You can use pulsed electromagnetic field therapies, red light therapies, and we have the ability to help people in all of those areas as well, Rex, but not something we can really go into in depth today. But in the whole world of advanced holistic nutrition, holistic health, I mean, we're dialed in on that. Just the other night, I spent an hour with a group of men that's all they do for a living is investigate, purchase, test, and deploy in their clinics the latest and greatest health and wellness devices from everywhere in the world. And so I go over to the place, use their devices, stay in touch with the scientists that they're in touch with, and it's a resource for your listeners that they can actually call our phone number and tap into our expertise and into our distribution service, where these unique products that no one else in the world has, we mail them out right from our own facility on Central Avenue in St. Petersburg, which people can come and visit us here, Rex. Call ahead to the 800 number, because I'm not always at the building, out and about quite a bit doing things. But if you want to meet me, you can call, and Stephanie or Lucy will help facilitate a visit. If you're coming on vacation, you live in Sarasota, Orlando, and you want to come by and visit, we've had people come from other states to visit, and that we're at 5401 Central Avenue in St. Petersburg.
Right on. Right on. I'm going to give your number out one more time. 1-800-861-4609. And Bob, this is awesome, man. Thank you. And thank you for all the help that you've helped me out with, my friends and my family. And thank you for all the help you give to the world. I think that's pretty honorable. It's pretty awesome.
Thank you, Rex. Thank you for having such an awesome platform here where you can spread the word about important stuff to people.
Yeah.
And, I really appreciate you and having me on your show.
Absolutely, man. It's an honor. I'm glad we're friends. Thank you, everybody, for being here with us. I hope you have a beautiful day. Hit the bell. Be well. Also, subscribe to Boomer Boost. It's Boomers Forever Young on YouTube. They have some great update videos there as well. And check out the website. Check out the products. Take the 30-day challenge and be the change the world needs to see.